Arizona. Cherub. Good morning, everybody. Maybe we'll start. Just us, we just relax. Just be here. The past is past, gone, not here. Future is not come yet here. And this moment is so momentary. Doesn't stay in one instant. So that is just flashing. So temporary. And then next, the future, we don't know what will happen. So we just reflect on that and relax. With this, then we'll, when we breathe in all the blessings of the Buddha and Bodhisattvas, and breathe in the loving kindness, compassion of all the Buddhas into us. And we meditate that it heal ourselves, our body and mind. It's just relax, like there's a space. So we do this meditation, breathing 3 times. Okay, please inhale. And exhale. Please inhale. And exhale. Please inhale. And exhale. And then let's just do a short meditation by just being in that moment, in this state, without any expectations. Thank you. Then we'll say some opening prayers. Sanje chozo dhamma nabanyo songshena. The short refuge prayer and the poor immeasurable. Bonje zona Janje bande bani absolution. Naga jansa give from give. Rola give flange yoga. Shoda zonje zona. Janje bande bani absolution. Nage jansa give from give. Rola give flange yoga. Jordan, 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 Bonjour, Paris, Paris, Absolution. Again, I give it so that Rola, patience, and yet to on your beds and give them the water. Doma da domya de joda Doma bebe dawa de me dawa Yere zada yego do me kayobla Yombo do nyambe zinje damje dewa dam dewe dewa Donga do donga de da dewa Donga me do da me dewa Nyeri sada yida dewe danyola dewa Danya bezanje damje dewa da dewe dewa Dunga da dunga de juda dewa Dunga me be dewa da me dewa Nyeri sada yeda dewe danyola neba dewa Okay, now you continue from yesterday, the teaching from the 35 pieces of heartfelt advice by the great Drikung DHARMAKIRTI. This, as you know, first, as we said, the opening prayers, cultivate your mind to attain complete enlightenment for the enlightenment, Buddhahood, for the benefit of all sentient beings. Just bring that thought into your heart. So today we are studying this precious teaching to reveal our inner mind as it is. It's called undefiled mind. You know, this mind, uncontrived, unfabricated mind that can revealed by purifying all the adventitious of creation, that our delusion mental effusions that surrounds to our inner pure mind. Until we taking care of that, purify fully, then we cannot see the innate nature as it is, which is within us. So this is so cultivating this such mind to attain enlightenment, Buddhahood, means it's the method, it's the way to obliterate this all delusions that given us suffering all the time. And we don't need the suffering, and we don't want the suffering. But it is not enough to just say that I don't want suffering. But we have to have such skill and method how to do that. For that, the historical Buddha Shakyamuni who taught this method over 2,600 years ago, like teaching the Buddha's wisdom, the compassion, the teaching now went to many places without effort. But people made effort to bring those teachings, wisdom, risking their life because they saw it's worthwhile now to exercise this teaching for oneself and to share to others. Now because of this in the modern transportation and communication like this, all technologies, now teaching goes everywhere where there is interested, where there's getting benefit. See, so we just see that, sometimes when you sit there, nothing happens. You may think, what I'm doing here, maybe I'm deluded. Nothing is changing. Why? It happens sometimes because our mental effusions, they're so stubborn that surrounds in our heart for a long time, so deeply rooted, difficult to get rid of it. So by reflecting this history, the teachings went so many places. So many people got so much benefits. So if I make effort, so definitely it's just a matter of time, I will get the benefit. So with this altruistic thought, we make the effort. So see, there are many people who are just learning the Buddha's teaching as a Buddhist philosophy. So this is a yesterday mission, this is Buddhist belief, this is why Buddhism is talked about. But not so much interest for their own practice, but just to become a scholar, to become a professor. So there are many who do that. But here we now understand just to become a scholar is good. It's just intellectual. It's a scholar, polymath. just become a scholar, wise, but not so much benefit is inside. But applying this Dhamma teaching into our mind, then we're really getting the benefit. It's like a great scientist. They don't have much to practice within their mind. They investigate, then empirically investigate, and then they see, and then this is happening, this is what is supposed to happen, this is what is happening, share the understanding, wisdom to others. But here we apply Dhamma into our heart. And then when difficult time comes, we have the tool to counteract that kind of difficulties. So here the teachings put so much emphasis on that, of our practice. Okay. So yesterday we read the verse number 9. So furthermore, indulging in heedlessly is life. Heedlessly means without having practiced meditation. This is like, see, packs of wild deer living in isolated places, but wasting away their lives. So with urgency and diligence, exhort yourself forcefully to abandon distractions. Distractions is my heartfelt advice. So urgency means look at the impermanence, changing, as we have touched yesterday a little bit. So sudden. Generally, life is so impermanent, especially nowadays, because of all the technologies. We fly in the aeroplane. You don't know what will happen. Because, we drive car on the road. We don't know what will happen. We go in the train. We don't know what will happen. See, when we fly, so everything's fine. The engine is fine. But suddenly in the air, something goes wrong. You see, as you have heard of a few months ago in India, in Arab, there are over 230, 60, 70 people perished in 1 second, except one is survived. Something moist. So like that, So well, our life is so fragile. And then how much potential we have. See, the mind that when we say the urgency, reflecting that this means like urgency and diligence is we bring our mind centralize in such a direction that becomes such a powerful method to just purify these delusions powerfully and get rid of them. Just if I say one story there, this actually happened. There's a story. A butcher butcher, he was killing many sheep every day. All the sheep just line up, killing one after another. Then one day, while he was going to kill a sheep, he tied on the legs. Suddenly, there's something happened that he has to go. He went there to take care of that and came back. And then, while the sheep is there, knife is he just left next to the sheep. When he came back, he didn't see the knife. Just thought, where's the knife? He's looking here, there, everywhere. Couldn't find. And then he pushed the sheep and he saw the knife under the sheep. And that moment, the sheep knows he's going to kill. Because in his mind, the sheep is animal, so stupid, will never know, never have awareness to kill. But that moment, he just made such a great, strong impression to his mind. And when he kills the sheep, how he does all this, and look to himself. The sheep has that kind of awareness. So kind of such a strong feeling came to his mind. And then he recollect how many sheep he killed in his life. And he felt so bad, so remorse, regretted. I am the most like the awful person in the world that exists. He thought, I better die than killing the sheep. He jumped on the bridge with such kind of remorse, totally remorse and compassion. Such a powerful compassion. When such powerful compassion rose in his mind, then you see the suffering that he saw, all the ships they're went through. This kind of thing, this body, my body that I have, is the source of all the suffering of this all ship. So that when that moment he jumped from the bridge, and because of his powerful mind, that remorse, the compassion, and all that his negative karmas that he created, just destroyed, obliterated, and he was flying there. So that's what he said. He said, urgency. So our life is such a great possibilities, opportunities. That's what we try to develop this mind to see the reality nature, you see, free from unfabricated mind. And then we get the benefit. See, as he is mentioned, we're not dogmatizing, but how to free from the vicious cycle of this suffering, samsara. So then when we have that, then you see that Dharma has that kind of great skill that Buddha taught, has a skill to purify all those creations no remainings. So that this was called the precious Dharma teachings. Reflect that. Then you see Buddha, how great wisdom the Buddha has, compassion Buddha has, great skill Buddha has. Then you feel why I'm taking refuge in Buddha and the Dharma. Source of real peace, happiness. So this is the Dharmakirti is giving us the kind of message, you see. So to abandon distractions. And distraction, we just look at all amusement, entertainments. There's so much entertainments everywhere, and we're entertained by this, and we're so distracted. And there's so much to, the five sensorial objects, if you know. Beautiful form, looking, beautiful sound, such delicious smell, odors, and scrumptious taste. No, they're so created. Look at all the go around restaurants there, look at each and every day advertise what they have to fulfill our desire, our attachment. And we are just hunting for those, looking for those. And we're just stay in the samsara as long as samsara remains, then you see, and we suffer helplessly. Because Dharma, when things goes well in our life, and everything goes well, your health is good, your work is good, and everything goes well, you don't need Dharma. It's fine, You have food to eat, place to live, you have good friends, you enjoy your life. But when things becomes difficult, nobody can help us. Your best friend cannot help us. Your best family can help us. Next to you, your best people who love you most, when they cannot help you, at that time, Dharma is the only one can help us if we have practiced. You see, we just look at that, meditate on that. When we get sick, the doctors cannot help. Medicine doesn't work. Now what we should do? Only Dharma can help us. See, when we age, you see, aging is a suffering. That's why you go to the store. There's so an anti-aging, isn't it? Why they are making all these anti-aging pills? It's because aging is a suffering. Sometimes we do plastic surgery. But when you are Dharma, you accept this all. Make your mind, flexible. Accept, how to accept, how to go with it. Finally, when we die, all your best friends, family surrounds, crowd. That time, only Dharma can help us. Even Buddha comes in front of that person, cannot do. But the Dharma, we practice the bodhicitta, the wisdom of emptiness, then will help us. Oh, that's the definite. Through this over 2,600 years, so many people got the benefit from that. There's a lot of stories, life stories. I'm sure you read many. So that's what these teachings are so precious. As yesterday we talked about, loving kindness, compassion, bodhicitta. They are the essence of the teaching. When your mind is more relaxed, mind is fully imbued with the loving kindness, compassion, and bodhicitta, relax. You see this, and this, all the delusions are a little distant there. And our, you see, dementia, forgetting. Now there are a lot of people suffering from that, isn't it? Dementia. This will help so much. Dementia happens when the mind is so depressed, stressed, traumatized by such strong desire, attachment, anger, hatred, when that occupies the mind and then stay for a long time, then if you forget, because they're totally occupied your mind. That is the happens diminishing. But when your mind is calm, peaceful, stay with that, your mind is clear, precise. Of course, when we age, there comes the forgetful. It's very easy to come because it's part of the aging. But there's a time when you see some great teachers, when they're 80s, and they have no any signs of forgetfulness. The mind is so precise. It's because of those practice. See, so for Dharma is for real source of peace, happiness. So that's why when we practice Dharma, just practice joyfully, happily, feeling of gratitude, feeling of so fortunate. So it's a way of practicing joyfully. Okay, so that's the abandon distractions is my heartfelt advice. Condonation, so don't turn I hear the message to look back in my shares not to take a government. Wherever you reside, with whomever you associate, there's never a need to disparage others or engage in idle chatter or idle talk. So the other people says, others don't judge others. They are good or bad, doesn't matter who they are. Sometimes we disparage others. Oh, what that person looks like. Where how is eating, where how is walking. So much things. This That is, we should just think in our mind, this is not my business. Everybody is just different. So let that be. And then useless talk, wasting time, no benefit. See. Or to attempt to manipulate others, bring them to your side, or you should come here, or you go there. So these things, unless you give good advice, this Dharma study, practice, this person is good, if you can associate, you get benefit. Those people who don't know, there's a lot of people who don't know enough. So giving the information, sharing the information sincerely is one thing. Otherwise, so manipulating others, not healthy. So to live with the integrity is my heartfelt advice. So here, Abur now is very clear, precise, sincere, basically. So just be sincere. When you are sincere to others means it's sincere to yourself. You just do what you can. And a lot of things you cannot do, then that's, accept I cannot do. So it's just what I can do, what I cannot do. Just be clear. And then that brings the peace. That brings the, trustworthy. Okay. Then next comes here, Shilu Pudetama, Bonglen, Competition, Gundong, Banyu Shelter, Lamai, Consulian, Indonesia. Abandon all involvement in rejecting and accepting and establishing and refuting the limits of others' tenets. So we're talking law, the tenet system. There's a Dharma, different religions we have in the world. That religion is not good. This is not good. What's it called? Radicalized, There are a lot of problems. So someone is radicalized, bring a lot of issues, So don't do these things. You should investigate yourself what you're doing. See, and then, as I mentioned, our mind is all occupied by the delusions. Delusion means not impartial. It's so partial within the group and group within the group, no? So you see this all, then it brings a lot of confusions. So don't associate. See, if somebody is doing something wrong, it's their business. If you have opportunity, no, then with the sincere shared information. But sometimes you see, what you are doing, you feel I'm doing the right, really right, The others doing not good, but then you criticize others. Instead of helping, it becomes worse. And becomes a lot of problems. So just leave it alone. Sometimes I'm sure you have seen a lot of debating. It will come later too. Dialectic systems. And then within that involves a lot of these things. Rejecting, accepting, their system is not good, our system is better, like these things. So say, Abandon all involvement in rejecting, accepting, and establishing and refuting the limits of others' tenets. Maintain instead equanimity towards them. To practice whatever has been taught to you is mine. Your Asheshameshi, your root guru, who is authentic, who has the scholarship, who has the realization, whatever teaching you receive from that guru, from that lineage, you practice that sincerely to yourself, purify the mind. And that's very important, that you can do that. As yesterday I mentioned, a lot of input, emphasis, purify our mental afflictions. To purify our mental afflictions is not easy. Sometimes painful to cut some kind of attachment. Let's just an example, drinking alcohol. Got so used to that, you become alcoholic. Then you yourself also know it's not right. All your friends, families are telling you, no, to avoid that. And it's so painful. You don't want. No, you miss so much. Yes. It's worse than missing a lunch or dinner, But you see, you should understand totally, this destroys my life. First, you look at that. This is a habit. So I was not born drinking alcohol. No. When I was teenage 20s, then I met a group of friends and associated with this and started drinking, And then I got used to this. So it's just bad habit. And this bad habit is temporary. If I make enough effort, I can do it. Like these things, Like this, our mental afflictions are so ingrained within us. To feel is something real. So to purify these mental afflictions, you see, something like unprecedented. So who can do it? Instead, you have to satisfy all what your mental afflictions. But then when it comes to anger, hatred, if you satisfy too much, you go to the hijab, You see? But this, as you say, they work together. See? Generally, just look at this here. The attachment and aversion, the anger, are totally opposite. You see, attachment is drawing others into you because you are so attached to your friend, your family. You're so attached, to this or things, wealth, whatever, The aversion, anger, hatred is want to be distance. But just for example, so this cup is so good. It's expensive. It's so good. And I like it so much, And this is mine, This I bought this for myself. It's nobody's business. It's mine, I have that kind of connection. Then if somebody comes here, try to touch this, say, don't touch, this is mine, You see. And then if that person comes there, oh, this is so good, can you give me? I'll say, no, I will not give you because I'm so attached to, And then the person says, no, I want this. Because they attach me to this cuff, then I will start fighting, you see. Make sense? Look at this. These are based on the ignorance. Ignorance, which is this, I'm holding is real, solid. Okay. That's the ignorance. One concrete, solid. Then from that ignorance, this comes attachment. From that attachment comes anger, hatred. Oh. You see, these three, they are called three cronies. They work together so well. And that brings the suffering into us, so that we have to purify. Nobody can come in front of you. They say, you have ignorance, I will take this, your ignorance. No any enlightened beings, powerful beings can come to me and say, I will take all your ego away until I myself voluntarily release, purify. So that's why we have to understand this practice and meditate. See, so that teacher, you are such kind, compassionate, wise teacher, guru, who taught to these wisdoms, you practice those. That's your responsibility, your choice. So then you feel so grateful. So I'm so fortunate. That's the Dharma. It's a method. It's a path. Taking that path, you lead to the cessation of the suffering. Then next here, at number 12, you see like this. She's so beautiful, such precious, you see. If meditative experience does not arise from within, and you are not determined, or there can be better words, the full extent of the view through meditation, through practice, through meditation, through practice, the path of syllogism. What is syllogism? Yeah. Oh, analytic, yes. Dialectic system like those, and book learning will not enable you to see reality, to see or to experience or to realize, not just to see, realize, experience reality. So here you see, it's mentioned. If the experience is not rise within you through the meditation practice, you're talking so much, oh yeah, this, that, you go around everywhere, and there's this and that, doesn't have, that not rise from within. So experience should be rise within in the mind. When you meditate, yes, we know the theory of the impermanence. Oh yeah, I know the impermanence. Oh, I know very well about the impermanence because I read many about the impermanence, So I can talk this from jewel ornament of said this from that book said this, from this book said this, from this teacher said this, and I can talk for days, but it's not in my heart. It's just intellectual. Oh. When things happen real, it's not there. I tell this story all the time. I'm sure here I told this many times before. And I'm sure there's some different people came to different places, here and there, you see. I shared this. He has only one clay pot to cook his nettle. One day he walked moved. Yeah, he was changing the place from one place to another. So that's the only wealth he has. So he took that pot and walked on the way. And then he stepped on a big piece of rock and fall down. And that moment, the clay pot, just got out of his hand and broke there because it's hit on the rock. See, now imagine like me or whoever, how should I live? The pot I had to cook the nettle. Now I have no any place to cook. What should I do? I will cry. I'm so unfortunate. Where I should go to looking for the next pot? To whom should I call? I will feel so desperate, pain in my heart, and anxiety in my life. How now I have no place, I have no any to cook, But for Milarepa, and that was the most precious experience. He was meditating impermanence in his life, but mostly like intellectual. As we know, that's impermanent. Yeah, I know, yes, sunrise, sets is impermanent, But that part is just brought in front of him, put in front of his eyes. And that's the only wealth he has. That's the only wealth he cherished. And then that is just, destroyed all his concept of attachment. All the leftover some obscurations are totally destroyed. And he was so relieved and said, the part, the only wealth that I have is now broken here. I'm so grateful the teachings I received from this. This becomes my root guru. Because uprooted all my delusions. And this symbolizes this precious human life, that what I have now, it can be any time, like this part. And all the rest of the phenomena are impermanent. Now I have to practice. I said, I have to practice more, greater, with more exertion, more effort. He was just thinking that, the part that I have is now broken. And this is the only wealth that I have. It symbolizes all the general composite phenomena, particularly this precious human life. And I'm so grateful it is broken now. Gave me all this most profound teachings. So like that, you see, he got the experience within in, Since he got the experience within in, that impermanence, everything dissolved into emptiness. All the delusions, that's called experience. From within, and you have not determined, yes, total what you call reveal the reality nature directly, the full extent of the view you call this Mahamudra view, Dzogchen's view, Mathemika's view, there are a lot of views, but if you have not directly see this within in your own mind, he's saying, determine fully extent of this view through meditation, through the practice. Then only the path of syllogism, this dialectic system. And then the book says, this high view, this is the highest view. Doesn't do any good. Will not enable you to see, to realize directly, saying basically, through this kind of meditative state, you just have to see directly through your own realization. This way, it's saying we can free from all the suffering. In other words, this way we can cross the borderline of the samsara and achieve enlightenment. See, and free from samsara. For this purpose, you are practicing the Dharma. Otherwise, it doesn't matter what religion you believe, it's okay. It's your choice. But you have to have this kind of understanding, thought. Then you can appreciate. That's why our lineage is called practicing lineage. Now there's a lot of understanding is very important. An analytical system is very important. You should analyze, you should investigate, right or wrong. You should do if you find through the investigation, through the reasoning in investigation, if you find even some mistakes of Buddha, you just put aside. But no experience. Our ego is stronger still. That builds the more ego. I have this kind of system, I'm much better off than anyone else. That it surrounds all the mental afflictions. And suffering is not far. So as you see. So to meditate continuously means meditate persistent, consistent. Just relax. When you go to bed, see, instead of all of this, you just reflect on the impermanence, loving kindness, compassion, reflecting suffering of others, and just bring sense of love and compassion in your mind. Go to sleep. Everything is like illusory nature. When you get up in the morning, thinking, what should I do today? What should I plan? How should I enjoy my life? Instead, you just reflect love and compassion. Oh, I got of this now. It's the sign of impermanence. I should meditate on this. That really gives you the peace in your mind. Because it's the way how to make the absence of the mental delusions. It's all a method. And when the mental delusions are absent within your mind, that is the peace. That's the happiness. You can live your life so peacefully and appreciate. That's what's called. We call what we should call this? We can call is civilized being individuals, okay? Not with the sweet and ties, a civilized person. That is real civilized. You see, like Milarepa was most civilized person, but he wears such a ragged, filthy clothes. And there's some other monks, they see he's such a ugly, so they perceive him such like a stupid. Because Niranava doesn't show his expertise. There are a lot of stories about these things. Yeah. So we meditate. Just to meditate persistently is good, I think. It's my heartfelt advice, you see. Dharmakirti say, I feel this. This is important for you. Because he's attained Buddhahood in his life. Then next is more important, you see. It's all a very precious Dharma teaching. 지식 근데 자기가 처음에는 가지고 민기 이심디 치즈 두기 바빠 떠왔다. 다음에 이제 바로 로그베 니루고 그 닝담이스. Such precious is so. If you don't have Mahamudra, where knowing one liberates all, I think it should be knowing, realizing one liberates all. Looks the words maybe a little better, But are satisfied with the title such as Master of 10 Texts and Polymath here we have. See, you have such a degree, whereas they call me Khenchen degree. That's what I say. Abbot of the abbot. So there I say, yes, I have the degree, But when I suffer, that degree doesn't do anything, Still, sometimes it becomes no cause of suffering. Because some people who don't like me, So here's a Khenchen degree, and he knows nothing, Then I feel so bad. Instead, I just accept I'm retired. See. So anyway, the title such as master. temple and retreat master. There we have a lot of retreat masters and this and that. There's so many titles, you know. All these titles, no, will not liberate us. But us first satisfy the titles such as Master of 10 texts, who there's some collection of 10 important texts put together, and they studied well, and then they can be the master of the 10 texts. No? And polymath was a Kishi, all those, it's a PhD degree. So these are at the time of death, like a snake casting off its skin, means leaves everything behind and go next life for nothing. Sometimes there's in the Zen, they say, this scholar, the great scholar, dies on the ordinary bed, means something to die without any experience. So we Dharma practitioners, no, we must look at the mind, purify all those creations. No. So here, so knowing one liberates all. You know that? Chikshi Kundul, through the Mahamudra practice, knowing one, realizing one, then liberates all. You see, there's like suppose let's say like 10 stay bamboo, okay, anyway, the collection of bamboo. So if you know one bamboo is hollow, when you open one bamboo, you see there's hollow. Do you have to see if all the bamboos are hollow or not? You don't have to see, So you can say there's a bunch of bamboo there. So you see this one hollow, this is hollow. So all the rest are hollow. So that's called knowing one. When you know one, then you know all the rest is liberated and they're all hollow. Like that, through your meditation practice, you receive such a profound teaching from your master, instructions on bodhicitta, Mahamudra. You are practicing that. You realize. When you realize the nature of your ego that you have been holding for a long time, that is not exist anywhere. Realize that, okay, through the Mahamudra practice. When you realize your ego exists nowhere, and then you know all the rest in the world, everybody has no ego. And then you are so relaxed. All your fixated things are just dissolved. Like your bloom, the bloom, a lot of air. Is when it breaks, the air goes out, and it's just so our ego is filled with like the bloom, air. When you realize that is the emptiness, nothing exists, and then you just relax. So this is that. And then you feel so peaceful. That's what's called real peace. That's what Buddha said. I realize the, the profundity of the mind, and that nature is empty. And that is the undefiled peace. It's within. Oh, you will depart overwhelmed by pains great. To meditate on the natural state is my heartfelt advice. Days, overwhelmed by the base regret means you're, you're, you're not practicing Dharma. You're reading, reading a lot of knowledge you have, but have not experienced. That at the time of death, there's nothing to carry. It's like a snake past the skin on this, no? So when you die, you leave everything behind. So say you practice, he's saying, no, I advise you, practice such your natural, unfabricated, uncontrived nature as it is. No. Unconfined vastness of the inner space. Reveal that and relax that. So this is when you, I'm sure everybody has some deity yoga practice. Some like say Chenresi practice, Tara practice, or Guru yoga practice. When you have those, you just sub-chant, meditate, receive the empowerment, and then dissolve into emptiness and meditate there. Relax that. Yeah. Because if at the Rana, we are going to talk like this way, sometimes maybe you don't know how to do that practice, But everybody has your own some different meditation practice, So they all dissolve into emptiness. And then you just reflect on that and meditate there without any kind of say, back and forth, past and future. Just be in that state. There's nothing to make anything. So there's a meditate on the natural state. And natural state means as it is. So during the post meditation, during the daytime, when you walk here, there, also it's very important to see everything's like a dream. No? Oh, this is like a dream. Or this is all like a reflection of the moon in the lake. Or it all was just manifestation. It's all just reflection. These are reflection of my karma, reflection of my mind. See, you are here, I'm here, we're talking about discussing all these things. is the reflection of our karma. See, this first reflection of the karma. Then next reflection of the mind. Then I have to see we are all just illusory natures. We just come and go. No one is real. No, this is my reflection of the mind. So that my mind is free from all the grasping, fixation. See. Just you see, I'm sitting here in this small throne. If my mind is full of anger, hatred, everything around there I don't like. No. So my mind is in the hell realm. You see, there's no special hell somewhere else. This very place where I am is the place to hell realm for me. Also, when I'm attached to something, or built ego myself. See. So this place, this my place where I am, this place can be in the state, in the hellish state, in the hungry ghost state, in the animal state, in the human state, in the demigod state, God realm state. If I could meditate well, this all was just nothing but reflection. Everything's interdependent. And that very interdependent nature is emptiness. There's no separation. And all these mental afflictions exist nowhere. It's just all just habit. If I see that, and this place itself is enlightened state. You see, that's how the mind works. Mind is so important where we're practicing Dharma. This is our great lineage, Milarepa and so forth, the masters they taught from the Buddha's message. No, we meditate this. Okay. Then next 14. Say, chubu also tenge kunjam. Tortu. Bakudu. Cheti debenena, medrube, tamjujuba kunde yisina. Is always put emphasis to practice. Powerful people, clerics, the wealthy and the warriors, even those haughty ones will eventually wander in the Pardo. So Pardo, between death and birth. It's Pardo in between. When you die, then whether you're rich or poor, whether you are wise, whether you are ignorant, whether you are anything, say, I've done long time retreat, meditation. Oh, I have to go through that same tunnel. So that part of warrior, whatever you say. Even who sits there in the high throne, high ones will eventually wander in the bathroom, where they won't be able to free themselves from the bad habit, you see. If we have the habit that had not discarded through the meditation practice, we just carry on in our habit, something like a nature, something it is that should that way. Then he said, when they won't be able to free themselves from the habit, bad habit. Sometimes when you have this, yes, in Tibet it's a chimbu, great, or zumbu, mean very saintly, says we can't, this is very saintly people, you know, and rich people. Power is a powerful, so-called, with heights, all this. As earlier he wrote that, it's all different titles. So, but if you're attached to these things, oh, doesn't help when you go to battle. There's no special, what you call, welcoming in the battle, those individuals, It's everybody go through same. So especially if you're attached to these things, then it brings more confusion, more suffering there. So say bad habits. So because of this, understanding this, to engage in the sacred Dharma is my heartfelt advice. Always put emphasis in the Dharma. When we are doing the retreat meditation practices there, sometimes it's better without any title. Just be a simple practitioner. Because it doesn't involve our ego. When you have a lot of titles, then a lot of egos pops up. When you have ego, then it's very easy to irritate. So I have this title. You have to do this for me, this. When people don't accept that, you are upset, you are angry, and then a lot of problems there. Instead, you're just being a simple, ordinary being there. Nobody cares you, and you don't care about it as well. And very peaceful. But these titles, when you have the real knowledge, in other words, experience, and when you have the ability, the titles are good for advertisement. So, when you have such great title, and then you advertise the people, so then you tell all the people this individual has this is his title, and then you can impose your elder qualities, also that you can deliver all the message of the Buddha. Otherwise, it's a big burden. So anyhow, to engage in the sacred Dharma means just practice the Dharma according to Buddha's message. Purify your mind. So precious, you see. Okay, then next, what is said? 밤에 잠깐 누워서 봐. 담배 티셔츠 춘디 체를 주 따다 봐도 되는 순서 좀 맞아. 얘 코일이 들으면서 the heedlessness of alcohol, sexual misconduct, and so forth are the source of shame to the sublime ones and cause of faulty ethics. With a guarded mind, always be cautious to develop a moral conscience is my heartfelt advice. So this is, as you know, general there we call the 5 precepts. 5 precepts: not living life, special human life, not taking things from others, not engaging in those who are married, those who engage in sexual misconduct, and not telling big lies, no consumption of the alcohol or drugs. No. You see, nowadays you see how much there's a war in the drugs. You can see, this is taught over 2,600 years ago. It's nothing new, because it brings the suffering. This is not a religious training. It's how to free from the cause of suffering and live the life in a way, harmonize your mind. All this mental affliction, these all are by the effects of the mental affliction. When the mental afflictions are there, then this all different things comes up in the mind. Then we engage to collect a lot of garbage. When we collect a lot of garbage in our life, then we are trashed at the dustbin and we suffer there. See, so purify those mental garbage, purify mental trash, afflictions that which is within us. That's why Dharma is indispensable. Without Dharma, not possible. Modern technologies cannot help us to solve this problem, if not making more problems. So we have to have a wisdom to discern, to see these things precisely how everything works, and choose the right path for our own benefit and benefit also for others. So you see how precious this is. So to develop a moral conscience, also moral ethics, so when we hit these 5 precepts or 5 disciplines, everybody will appreciate, trust you. We are trustworthy, So look at this, so precious, that how Buddha's teaching us, you see, how to become a better human being, even in the samsara. And this is the foundation for the enlightenment, Buddhahood. All the moral ethics for monks, nuns, Vinaya, Namayana, Vajrayana, all this moral ethics, whatever name you just call the name, are based on these 5 precepts. They are foundation. And then based on that, then more precise, there are more details there. So this all, this, let's call this morality, the breaking the vows, all related to our mental afflictions. Without purifying our mental afflictions, we cannot keep this all moral ethics. So to develop a moral conscience is my heartfelt advice. And the varieties of physical amusements, such as jumping around and running, will only injure your body and cause senses from others. Censure from others. Constantly curtail hardness and abide in the disciplined conduct. To be heedful of your body is my heartfelt advice. First, physical discipline. When you walk gently, there's a saying, walk like a Buddha. That like Silak. When elephant walks, how elephant walks, so gently, so you have to walk like elephant. Okay. It's good for your body system. It harmonizes your chakras. Those athletics, those Olympic game athletes, a lot of people there, they're so injured, physically so much damaged. When they get old, then they're not healthy. Especially the what's called the boxing player. So they injure the whole body and they die very fast. So do some exercise, which is helpful. Sometimes some yoga exercise and Tai Chi, like those things. Gentle to your body and circulation of the blood, the air, the body is where our body is sustained with the air circulation. That through the air, the blood circulation. So there's a need to keep this healthy, So first you said, take care of your body. Be healthy. Basically saying be healthy. So to be heedful of your body is my heartfelt advice. Next is the speech. Enjoying idle chatter, jesting, teasing, and so forth, among gathering of the loud-mouthed gossipers is the basis of all wrongdoing and considered shameful by wise ones. To discipline your speech is my heartfelt advice. So here, gossiping means talking about others. And when they hear what you talked about others, and then you get the response, and then problem comes there, So said, don't bother others. You just talk about the Dharma. And some maybe, so how weather is so good, relax your mind, your speech. Just talk with some useful saying, So basically discipline your speech. So to discipline your speech is my heartfelt advice. Now next with the mind. If your body and speech are tamed, but your mind is not, it is like the cigarette was biographies of snake or cats, gentle on the surface, but harsh inside, with the afflictive emotions increasing inside. To tame your mind is my heartfelt advice. even though you walk very beautifully, your elegant speech is so beautiful, but your mind is just rotten. It doesn't help. It's in children, the cats and the snake, they walk so gentle, especially when they see the pet, and when they see what you call the other, like a cat, like a mouse, and then they just catch. So mind is the most important. Mind can train only through this Dharma teaching, meditation. First, look at the impermanence of the mind. Look at the impermanence of outside. Impermanence is always good. Buddha said, from all the thoughts of the impermanence is the best, highest. From all the footprints, the elephant footprint is the biggest. So meditate on that way. When you attach to something, somebody just say, oh, it's impermanent. It's like a flower. Banana flower is so fresh, beautiful. You just look, you want to touch, you want to smell. But after a few days, then it's rotten. Now it's rotten. Then you throw it in the trash. It's all impermanent. When somebody hates you, also look at that person is also impermanent. It's so momentary nature. So seeing, understanding of the impermanence helps to delete our ignorance. When the ignorance are more purified, then attachment, aversions are purified. Okay, so that's mind 10 for mind training, so training the mind. As we talked about this practice of loving kindness, compassion, bodhicitta, there you can train. I'm sure you have heard of the mind training. When you suffer physically pain, a lot of sufferings there, then sometimes if medicine doesn't work, then you feel what should I do, all these things. Well, you have the pain, but because you have the practice of bodhicitta, loving kindness, compassion, you just meditate, reflect. The pain that I have is so excruciating pain, relentless pain that I have. May this be enough, has enough ability to purify all the pains of the sentient beings. Just reflect, there are so many people in the world have this kind of pain, suffering. May they purify their suffering by this my pain. And you just meditate, reflect on that. My pain that I have, it represents purification of the pain of all sentient beings. And your pain is no longer a big burden. Instead, your pain, it becomes such a great ornament. So there you see, my pain is useful. Even though it's pain, it gives me pain. I don't like it, but I use it for others' benefit, to develop my bodhicitta, to develop my loving kindness and compassion practice. We just meditate on this. When we're aging, physically becomes so limited, difficult to walk. No, you're a little confused, and a lot of depression can come from this. At this time, as Dharma practitioner, you just sit on your chair, reflect. Instead of being so despair, just this my aging suffering that I have. Purify all the suffering of aging in the world. There are so many people who are suffering like this. Meditate, practice this. Oh, it's so precious. And then you have no fear having the pain, having this being aging. No? Just reflect on this. That's the preciousness of Dharma. And then all your mental afflictions just purify. Attachment to being good. Attached, I want to be young, attached, how I should make it younger, this attachment. So purify just all attachment. I just accept who I am, where I am. And all the shortcomings are purified this way. And then meditate, everything's illusory nature. See, there's so many things you can learn from this, how to tend the mind. When you could tend the mind, then you see, doesn't matter if you're sick, if you're aged, if you die, you just accept that way. So this how, so to tend your mind is my heartfelt advice. Okay? Make sense? Is helpful? Okay. Then here comes more. It's all mind training here. Simi chuda number no me le tenshi gyuri logi de tu go palak ma je. Tune tu ki sin zeme lapa ko ninka means. The nature of the mind is like clear water. That's your own mind itself. When your mind is not affected by any other thoughts, it's just clear, it's pure. You no need to purify your mind because your mind is pure by itself. But it said here, but becomes unclear when salute with the conceptualities, conceptual thoughts. All different thoughts manifest. Like the water, the ocean is clear, but when the waves manifest, it disturbs the clarity of the ocean. So look at this. When you keep your mind in the meditative state now, this moment, clear, so peaceful, you see. But as soon as when the conceptual thoughts rise from that, then it disturbs, you see, your mind. The heedfulness and introspection are only winds that create more turbidity. Then you see, without keeping that mind as it is, you investigate what is, how it is, then it disturbs more. So no need to investigate that. Once you established, nothing to investigate. Then what you need, you just need to habituate, subtle in that way, relax in that way. No, see, it's like wind. When the ocean is very calm, peaceful, there's very little waves or no waves. But when the strong wind comes, then all manifest the waves. And then you see all the clarity is disturbed just because you keep investigating. See. So it is said here, taking poison as an antidote to poison. One poison, and you put another poison, it plus more poison, you know? Yes, you know? So your turbulence of the mind, you investigate, that it becomes more turbulent, more thoughts. Cannot rest, cannot settle. That's what he's saying here. Now, this all step by step, okay? Will never come all at once. You see here, if you just go through this step by step, okay, according to advice here, because Dharmakirti is a master of the Mahamudra practice. He totally, completely realized the Mahamudra. He's the master of the Mahamudra. You care? No. Not just being a scholarship. He taught teachings for 3-year retreat. He himself in the retreat. And then he taught for like hundreds of disciples. He taught Mahamudra in 6 hours Narupa, you know. So, you know, you got there's nice good stories. You like the stories? One time he was, you know, with all the students in the retreat with himself. And one night he went to sleep, like a dream yoga practice. Then as soon as he got to sleep, in a dream, he made journey to India. And then in the Mahakala field, she said, where the Mahakalas, there's the 8 Mahakala manifestations, the Mahakala itself. And then he was chanting. There's a lot of praise of Mahakala. He was chanting all those things. And then next to this is such a giant Dakini, full of dignity, you know. And she said to her, now you're done well. Now if you want to see Narupa, is here. And it's thought, this is like, I'm a dream, how Narupa could be here? And she said, if you trust, this is Narupa. And then he looked at the Narupa, he just saw Narupa there. Oh, you know. So then he offered his body, speech, mind, all to Narupa. Now in this dream, I must receive some very profound teachings. If I wake up, then I will not see Narupa. At that time, he just requested to teach the Dumu and the Powa. And then that moment, Naraba taught all the instructions of Drikung, and with all the physical exercise and practice itself, and the very profound power practice there. And then when you wake up, everything's so clear in his mind. So that's how Dharmakirti was. Okay. Such a great teacher. So like that, a lot of stories he has. And also, during the Lord Jigdasumgun time, Jigdasungun's foremost disciple, Chema Shrabjune. Have you heard of Shrabjune? Shrabjune was responsible to collect all the important points of teachings of Jigdasungun, and its form name is called as Konchog. So Dharmakirti wrote, there are two different Konchog commentary, Dharmakirti. One is short, but it's composed as like a poem form. So at the end, he said, I precisely remember at the time of Jigdasungun receiving these teachings. I remember very precisely, and there's no any mistake here if you follow this unmistaken teaching. Like that, he has that kind of confidence. He can see all these things, you see. Like Kambupa, when Kambupa was now gathered so many disciples, thousands of disciples, and including the first Karmapa and the Palmudriba. And then he selected some great disciples there. Kambupa said, now this is the time we all have to work together. He said, at the time of Buddha, Shakyamuni, I was born as a Bodhisattva. Dayushunu, the Chandra Prabha Kumara, the Sanskrit word. And I requested the teachings of the Samadhi Raja, and Buddha taught all those teachings. And at that time, Buddha asked, who will responsible in the future to promote these teachings to the disciples? And I have accepted that time. And you all guys here, my disciples, you all promised to help me, to support me. And this is the time. Now we have to work together, you see. So those great teachers, you see, because their mental afflictions are totally obliterated, get rid of from the root, nothing but accept all enlightened qualities, pristine wisdom mind, and can see without obstruction. See. Okay? So you should have that kind of understanding as your background, what you are studying, practicing, okay? Not deluded person like me, I'm talking, So if I say I have this experience, I have this, I have this, then through my delusion I'm talking about. But I'm reading this by these enlightened beings and their message title, give or share to you. What they have. So constitutionalities, hatefulness, and introspections are only winds that create more turbidity. Do not fight with the conceptualities, conceptual thoughts. Don't fight with your conceptual thoughts. Let realize their nature is nothing but empty. Okay. If you subtle, meditate their nature, and they have no place to go, nothing but only dissolve into the emptiness. You have to have that kind of skill. See, for it is like if you do that, where your thoughts are coming, you then investigate more and more where does it exist, where does it, then you just go around and round and round, then it's like it's create motor winds that create more, more thoughts. Do not fight the conceptuality, for it is like taking poison as an antidote to poison. So to train in non-grasping, so you don't grasp. Grasping is one of the, grasping comes from the ignorance. Then from that, as mentioned, attachment. You're just holding on, grasping. You know? It's, so just relax in the non-grasping, all thought rise, let's dissolve. So these thoughts, all conceptual thoughts, when you have skill, is so precious. You realize their nature is nothing but empty. You just relax. This also non-grasping is my heartfelt advice. And next 20. Minds and mental factors are like incense and smoke. They are mutually dependent. Without one, the other does not occur or exist. Because of that, each is empty of own essence. Do not need antidotes. Is my heartfelt advice. Again, Zen is coming similar. That's called mind. Oh, that's called namshi. Oh, on your book, there's got 6 types of root mental afflictions. On your mental afflictions, desire, attachment, anger, hatred, and arrogance, and ignorance, and the view, your view, my view, all the views, and then doubt. So these are the 6 root mental afflictions. And there are 20 branches, mental factors. It's called, minds that one, and mental factors are like an incense. They come from each other. Without one, the other cannot exist. Incense, they're like incense. When you have incense, you burn the incense, then it comes the smoke. Okay? Without the incense, there's no smoke. When you burn the incense, then smoke. So the mind is like incense, and the smoke is the mental factor. They are mutually dependent. They depend on each other. Without one, the other does not exist. Because of that, each is empty of own essence. Mind is empty by itself. As well, the mental factor is empty by itself. But when you realize one, that nature is empty, you can realize all is empty. It's emptiness. You don't have to push each other. Yeah. So like say, if I ask where the butter is come from, 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 No? Yeah, butter. You know butter? Butter, where the butter is come from. Yeah. Milk. So the milk is the where the butter is come from milk, isn't it? Is the milk butter? No. Or the butter is milk? You see? Just carefully think, Usually we don't think, We can't use your milk as a butter, isn't it? And you cannot use your butter as a milk. But without the butter and without the milk, there's no butter. Why? Carefully investigate, you see. Where the milk is come from, look at there. Where the butter goes, there's interdependent, okay? The butter depends on the milk. Without the milk, there's not possible to have the butter. And butter is also continues. Butter is not exhausted there. It affects goals. That's called, first of all, this called continuity of the, so it's not a nihilist, okay, that cuts the nihilist system, how it exists. And you see, when you look at how the milk is come from, it depends on so many causes. But there's a distinct each individual's how it manifests. Butter doesn't come from water, from anything else, but just from the milk of the cow, milk of the goat, milk of the sheep, milk of the horse. All this milk is the direct cause, the butter that comes from. But if there's a very distinctive causes and conditions. If one is missing, cannot produce the butter. No. As well, the butter cannot exist without all the causes and conditions there. So everything's so distinctive. So it cuts the nihilist and it cuts the eternalist. But the interdependent is called Pratita Samodha Bhata. So to have that kind of understanding, seeing, penetrating that reality nature, only from Buddha's wisdom can perceive that. So we need such kind of great wisdom. But that's not Buddha's creation. But Buddha sees that, understand that, how it exists. So that's why Lord Jigdusung, when he attained Buddhahood, he said, I realized the interdependence. Oh. So the interdependence of the inner interdependent, outer interdependent, the secret interdependent, the ultimate interdependence, you see. That's how things function. This is not a Buddhist philosophy, okay? This is how everything functions as reality nature. Buddha, having realization of that, then taught all those teachings precisely to the followers. so that followers can free from all the cause of suffering and attain the Buddhahood. That's what Nagarjuna said. You see, this Buddha's teachings were interdependence is most cherished treasure. So this all you see. So when you realize their own nature, then it's, because of that ease is empty of own essence. So do not, not need, what is that?
Do not need?
I think do not need antidotes. There's no need antidotes because their nature itself is empty. We don't have to make empty, okay? But we have to have the wisdom to realize that their nature itself is empty. Okay? This is such a precious teaching. So we need a courage, mental ability to capture that message. Then you can say, oh, now I'm free from all the suffering. You can dance in the unconfined space, okay? This is to do not need antidote is my heartfelt advice. Shall we stop here for lunch? Or first you please take a deep breath. Okay. Inhale fully and fill to your chest and stomach full. And then exhale. Release all your stress. And then just reflect this morning, the teachings. And then you appreciate. If you have learned something new, cherish that. Just put in the store in your mindfulness. Don't leave behind on the cushion. Carry with you. So I will apply this in my life. I will practice this. I will meditate. And I'm so fortunate I have this teaching. Okay. And this we have this short, very short dedication prayers here. Page 159 of the prayer booklet. First we say this in Tibetan. Let me see where that is. Oh, that is here, page 157, the last line. That's the 1, 2, 3, the third paragraph, the third one. Chanjo senjo rinpo che ma je hana ye je je va nyamba me para kone kondo Chanjo senjo rinpo che ma je kanam ke chi je ba nyamba e bodhicitta, the excellent, the precious mind, where it is unborn, let it arise, where it is born, let not decline, but ever increase higher and higher. And page 159. By the virtues collected in the three times, by myself, all beings in samsara nirvana, and by the innate root of virtue, may I and all sentient beings quickly attain unsurpassed, perfect, complete, precious enlightenment. May the teachings of the great Drikung, who is omniscient, Lord of the Dharma, Master of interdependence, continue and increase through the study, practice, contemplation, meditation, until the end of samsara. Thank you so much. Have a good break. Two? Okay.
I like the one earlier.
Doesn't matter. Two is good. It looks okay. It's important, majority. Because we're a democratic system, you know.
I think you can be the president.
Ah,
You can be the president.
yes, I'm a president, but on the base of the democratic system.
So we're going to tell everybody coming at 1:30 and he's going to have a quiz.
Yes, squeeze.
Yeah.
I forgot to drink water. That's okay now. I sacrifice that. No, it's okay. Okay.
How are you, gentlemen?
Yesterday, I went to do a reunion of retired nurses.
Oh.
When I went for yesterday, I had to go with, I was driver, one of the drivers.
No, it wasn't free.
Yeah, yesterday.
Oh.
Yesterday.
You know,
I used to work.
your colleague,
Yeah.
they'll be hanging out.
Retired.
Oh,
Yeah.
you good?
So we went for lunch.
Hey, you want?
Yeah, oh, we did. Yeah. Yesterday, I went to do a reunion of retired nurses.
Oh.
Yeah.
They'll be hanging out.
We went for lunch. Yeah.
They'll be hanging out.